2025 has been an awesome year for gaming, and by that I mean true gaming, like games that are actual games and not propaganda materials, games that you would want to play and replay, games that actually provide you with the escapism that you crave when you click on the buy button and installing the game from one of the shops. That's the best year in a very long time, in my opinion, that we have had for those kinds of games, and it's kind of beginning to show, because as far as our love and monetary and vocal affinities to our favorite games are growing more and more and more, and as a gaming community we begin to be much more vocal in our expectations and frustrations, we have had a tough time getting our games to be Game of the Years, to receive the awards that would actually help them in the future, even though we don't care about this stuff ourselves. But now it seems, and for a good reason, that things are turning around rather quickly. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Hyozo, the bearded Balkan blabbermouth, and I am discussing, and today we're going to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the GOTY, the Game of the Year, the Game of the Decade in my opinion, and what has now become officially my favorite game in the last maybe 20 years. It has already been in my heart much deeper than games like the Mass Effect trilogy or the Witcher games have been, because it made me experience gaming in a way that I didn't even know it was possible. I know these are pretty big claims that I'm saying here, but this is just how the game has influenced me. And let me tell you something real quick. Ever since I finished the game the first time, I have been replaying it almost immediately offline. And at the same time, when I have the opportunity, I take a look at different streamers, channels, small and big, who are now playing it. And let me tell you something, there is one thing peculiar to notice here that I think that we haven't seen in a long time, is that neither people from any of the sides, from the woke left or from the right or from the middle or from whatever, which side you want to pick on, any sort of community seems to hate it. Nobody's hating it. Everybody loves the game. It has zero political alignments. It has zero of anything that one might cling on to and say, oh, this game is either woke or misogynistic trash or whatever the buzzwords you want to use. It's just a great fucking game. And we now have our first official confirmation that this game is a Game of the Year. Cue the Gamer. And I chose to cover this story from the Gamer, even though a lot of articles were written on a lot of websites, because I actually like the title that they have put. Clair Obscur has picked up its first of what will almost certainly be many Game of the Year award. I love that title, no matter where it comes from, because it is actually true. Here we go, this is by Josh Coulson, it was published 2 days ago, and I've been oozing to review this. There are a lot of games that could feasibly crown the Game of the Year in 2025. Well, yes, there are a lot of great games, in my opinion, as well, that do deserve that title in many other years, with the last 10 months filled with titles big and small that will live long in the memory. However, it's hard to look past Clair Obscur Expedition 33 being the frontrunner, even though it isn't even November yet. Sandfall Interactive's critically acclaimed debut has already picked up its first Game of the Year. Let me revise this somewhat in what I see as... Let me kind of explain what I got from this first passage. A lot of games have been released this year. Some remakes, some new games, some indie games, especially indie games. We have had great games all around, from Split Fiction, from Schedule 1, from Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, from Hollow Knight Silksong that is currently booming, from a lot of games now, Megabong, and of course Expedition 33. Those are all games that in their own right, in my opinion, can win, if not Game of the Year, at least a lot of awards from the game shows, because they're all great games one way or another. It's that good to be in 2025, even though it's a long being waited for something like this to happen, and we're all hoping that it's not going to just be one off year of that. Expedition 32 was given its first Game of the Year award to close the Gamescom Asia X Thailand Game Awards. Thanks Gamer Braves. More than 200,000 people stopped by Thailand's Gamescom, and new records for the event, with the closing ceremony playing host to Clair's first Game of the Year win. 200,000 people is nothing to scoff at. This is an amazing and a very huge event, and that's amazing to have it. It's so great to see such an article, because ever since I started playing Expedition 30, I said it. This is Game of the Year, this is Game of the Decade. Then I started watching other YouTubers, and they're also saying the same thing, and it's like our voices are finally being officially heard. Expedition 30 was the biggest winner of the night, not only because it took home the most coveted award, but also because it backed 3 others. It was also the best RPG of the year, the best PC console game of the year, unsure what differentiates that from the standard GOTY other than the exclusion of mobile games, yep, and the Popular Vote Award. Those are 3 pretty big awards in my opinion. It's amazing. It's basically everybody loves that game. Everybody's feeling what that game has put you through, and they all have the emotions. I'm still having a hard time talking about the game without just remembering every epic scene, and I think that sentiment is shared among many people across the globe. Even though it will face stiff competition from the likes of Ghost of GOTY, right, and Split Fiction and so many more, this almost certainly won't be the only GOTY Clair wins. Since it's the clear frontrunner as we turn the final corner heading into the end of the year, the real question is how many Game of the Year awards it can rack up compared to previous winners. Last year, Astrobot ended its Game of the Year run with 188 awards. Wow, that might sound like a lot, because it is. It pales to comparison to Baldur's Gate 3, which won 288 the year prior, and is dwarfed by Elden Ring, which took home a staggering 435 Game of the Year awards in 2022, more than any other game in history. Now, I don't know if Expedition 33 will bring home that many awards, but when you have awards like the Popular Vote and award shows going left and right with their seemingly increasing customer participation, if that, or audience participation, then I'm sure that it will rack up a very decent number, and I'm sure that it won't be the only Game of the Year awards. While the team at Sanfo is well aware it has created a game that will win awards, its director recently clarified that the studio didn't create Expedition 32 with Game of the Year awards in mind. In fact, when pressed for its own pick, Sanfo Guillaume Brochet pointed to Megabong, the latest in a string of indie hits that has taken the world by storm in 2025. And this is the whole mentality of that studio, from what I've seen from their posts and from their public appearances, from their interviews and everything, and I love it. They're not doing their job just to win awards and stuff like that. They're in that business to make you happy, to create something unique, spectacular, and from that to gain the acclaim from the audience, from the most important people in that industry, the audience, the consumers, the players, the gamers, and they know that, and they're doing that. And when another great game appears, they will upload it and they will share their excitement. They did that with Silksong as well. They officially congratulated Team Cherry for the creation and for the release of that game, and with a very strong right, because the game is awesome. This whole thing contrasts what has been happening with the Golden Joystick Awards, and I'm sure you know this from the beginning of October. And this is from Games Radar. I'm just going to read the article's title. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 leads the Golden Joystick Awards 2025 charge for most nominations, nudging out Death Stranding 2, Ghost of GOTY, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Notice how there is no mention of the Game of the Year awards. That's because they weren't nominated for Game of the Year by the Golden Joystick, which is crazy to me, but it is also expected, because I've mentioned this before. No matter how good a game is, even if it's loved by everyone, the game awards and these awards, they don't just give awards to good games. They give awards for good propaganda material, in my opinion, allegedly. And Clair Expedition lacks that certain element in its core and its whole design. So it's kind of incompatible with the Game Awards premise to give it to a proper game in their opinion, and that's a big quote marks that I wasn't able to do. And just so you know, these are the official PC Game of the Year nomination. This is The Authors, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Abiotic Factor, Peak, Dune Awakening. These are what's being presented by Games Radar. And so yeah, they're excluded, at least for now, although there is an Ultimate Game of the Year award which probably will feature them because just the pressure will be too much in my opinion. But the thing is, and the whole thing that you can derive from all of this is a very important thing. Expedition 33 continues to win. It continues to break down every single wall that has been built by the gaming industry in the last 10 or so years. It doesn't have an expensive budget. It doesn't have a political agenda. It doesn't have inclusion in its core. It doesn't have modernity inserted into the core values of the entire game. It has great characters, it has proper characters, it has well written characters, a good story, an amazing gameplay. It is its own thing, and it is created with the focus of bringing you satisfaction, escapism, and excitement to play and to replay it again and again. And that is a game of the year. It is also beautiful, it has the best music score, and it is made with care, which is the most important thing. It is made with passion. It is not made with a deadline. It is made by people who know what they're doing and how to do it and what they want to deliver. It is a small team, but it is a dedicated team that wanted to just bring us that great experience that a lot of people are still doing and redoing once again, and which we'll remember for a long time. And that's why Clair Obscur continues to win, and it will continue to win for a long time ahead. But this is all I have for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy my content, please press the like and subscribe buttons if you want to see more, and if you want to support the channel growth directly as well as help homeless animals and animals in shelters, please click the join button and consider becoming a DiscussThing member. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kelzo, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay fresh.